Welcome all of you. My name is Dr. Mohammad Fiaz from University of Education, DGH campus. Today we will talk about aphid, whose scientific name is Aphis gossypii and belongs to the order Hemiptera and family Aphididae. Here we will discuss distribution, life cycle, damage and management of aphid. Aphid occurs in tropical and temperate regions throughout the world, except northernmost areas. Aphid is extremely polyphagous and very damaging to many economically important crops, including cotton, citrus, coffee, melon, okra, peppers, potatoes, squash, and sesame. It is a major pest of cotton and cucurbits. Aphid has a worldwide distribution, although in Arctic regions it is mostly confined to glasshouses. It is particularly abundant in the tropics. Adults range from just under 1 to 1.5 millimeter in body length. The minimum diameter is just over 0.34 millimeter. This is indicated by the fact that a screen with a mesh diameter of under 0.34 millimeter is able to exclude aphid. Aphid can range in color from yellow to very dark green. The smaller yellow form occurs during warm summer conditions. The green form is larger and occurs during cooler spring and autumn temperatures and uncrowded conditions. Color morphs are able to produce progeny of another color morph. Female nymphs hatch from eggs in the spring on the primary host. They may feed, mature, and reproduce parthenogenetically on this host all summer, or they may produce winged females that disperse to secondary host and form new colonies. The dispersants typically select new growth to feed upon and may produce both winged and wingless female offsprings. Under high density conditions, deteriorations of the host plant are upon arrivals of autumn, production of winged forms predominates. During periods stressful to the host plant, small yellow or white forms of the aphids are also produced. Late in the season, winged females apparently seek primary hosts, and eventually both males and egg-laying females are produced. They mate and females deposit yellow eggs. Eggs are the only overwintering from undercooled conditions. Under warm conditions, a generation can be completed parthenogenetically in about 7 days. Aphid can complete its development and reproduce in as little as a week. So, numerous generations are possible under suitable environmental conditions. Let's talk about eggs. When first deposited, the eggs are yellow, but they soon become shiny black in color. And nymphs vary in color from tan to gray or green and often are marked with dark head, thorax and wing pads, and with the distal portion of the abdominal dark green. The body is dull in color because it is dusted with wax secretions. The nymphal period is averages about 7 days. Adults, the wings The wingless parthenogenetic females are 1 to 2 millimeter in length. The body is quite variable in color. Light green mottled with dark green is most common, but also occurring are whitish, yellow, pale green, and dark green forms. The legs are pale with tips of the tibia and tarsi black. The cornicles are also black. Small yellow forms apparently are produced in response to crowding or plant stress. Winged parthenogenetic females measures 1.1 to 1.7 millimeter in length. The head and thorax are black and the abdomen yellowish green except for the tip of the abdomen which is darker. The wing veins are brown. The egg-laying female is dark purplish green. The male is similar also. The duration of the adult's reproductive period is about 15 days and the post reproductive period is about 5 days. These values vary considerably, mostly as a function of the temperature. The optimal temperature for reproduction is reported to be about 21 to 27 degrees. Viviparous, which gives birth to the live young ones, viviparous females produce a total of about 70 to 80 offsprings at a rate of 4.3 per day. Economic damage due to aphid is by direct feeding, the excretion of honeydew, and virus transmission. Damage to cotton, okra, and certain cucurbits occurs when large populations of aphids builds up, feed on the crops, and excrete honeydew. However, its biggest overall economic impact is a vector of pathogenic plant viruses in over 2 dozen crops. There is little quantitative information on exact crop losses. In cotton, for example, aphid is only one of many crop pests. Direct damage. Aphid cause direct feeding damage to cotton, okra, and some other crops by sucking the sap directly from the phloem, causing the removal of nutrients. The drain on plant nutritional resources can be considerable. Adverse physiological responses of plants to direct feeding can also occur. The undersides of young leaves are preferred, but the entire plant may be covered when populations are large. Infested leaves curl downwards and may appear wrinkled or reddened. Heavy infestations can result in wilting. Young plants often have reduced or stunted growth and may sometimes be killed. Direct feeding damage by aphid on cotton is related to plant growth stage and level of aphid infestation. Aphid populations increase rapidly with favorable climatic conditions and plant nutritional quality. Let's talk about indirect damage, and the first one is honeydew. Losses due to honeydew excreted by feeding aphid can be considerable. Honeydew interferes with leaf transpiration and acts as a substrate for fungi, including sooty molds, which blacken leaves and reduce photosynthetic efficiency. Honeydew can also act as an attractant to other crop pests and insects such as bees, wasps, and ants that may provide protection for the aphids from their natural enemies. The presence of honeydew contaminates cotton lint, reducing its quality and economic value. The presence of honeydew on fruit crops can significantly reduce their marketability. Aphid transmits over 50 plant viruses, including non-persistent viruses of beans and peas, crucifers, celery, cowpea, cucurbits, lettuce, onion, papaya, peppers, soybeans, strawberry, sweet potato, tobacco, and tulips, and the list is uh, continues. In cotton, it transmits uh, cotton virus, cotton curliness virus, cotton blue disease, cotton leaf roll, and purple wilt. On the majority of crops, it attacks the ability of aphid to act as a vector of plant viruses that can result in significant economic losses. Aphid is the only known vector of the virus causing cotton blue disease in Africa. Cotton blue disease decreased the length of the fibers by about 2.5% compared with uninfested controls, although other quality characteristics were unaffected in this disease. Management and in management from first of all its cultural practices. The wide host range of aphid makes crop rotation a difficult tactic to implement successfully. Also, crop grown downwind from infested fields are especially susceptible because aphids are weak flyers and tend to be blown about. Infested crops should be destroyed immediately after harvest to prevent excessive dispersal, and it may be possible to destroy overwintering hosts if they are weeds. If continuous cropping is implicated in retention of aphid populations, then a crop-free period is needed. Row covers can be used to inhibit the development of aphid populations. Time of planting may influence potential aphid populations increase potential. Reflective mulches also affect aphid populations under open field conditions. Aphids are easily dislodged from plants if they are sprayed forcefully with water, reducing their abundance and lessening their plant damage. Although probably not practical in most vegetable cropping environments because of the potential of plant injury. Many of the natural enemies known to be effective against other aphids also attack aphid. For example, ladybird beetles, flower flies, and braconite wasps. Ants are commonly found associated with aphid, but they are there to collect honeydew and may even hinder predation by other insects. The wasp is especially effective, sometimes causing up to 99% of parasitism. Fungi are also sometimes observed to affect aphid. If insecticides are used to suppress aphid, care should be taken to obtain thorough cover of foliage. Leaf distortions caused by aphid feeding provide excellent shelter for the insects. So, systemic insecticides are useful. Excessive and unnecessary use of insecticides should be avoided. Early in the season, aphid infestations are often spotty, and if such plants or areas are treated in a timely manner, great damage can be prevented later in the season. Use of insecticides for other more damaging insects sometimes lead to outbreak of aphids. Inadvertent destruction of beneficial insects is purported to explain this phenomenon. However, resistance by aphids to chlorinated hydrocarbons, organophosphates, and pyrethroids insecticides is widespread. Insecticides should be used sparingly and in conjunction with other non-chemical control methods to decrease the development of resistance. Various aphid populations were studied for their susceptibility to endosulfan, asfenvalrate, methamil, and oxydametin methyl. The study found endosulfan as the best choice for aphid control. So this was all about aphid in today's lecture. I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, take care.